Welcome to the Mariah Jean Fit YouTube channel. I'm Coach Mariah. Make sure you like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos as much as possible so we can reach a broader audience. We appreciate your support and enjoy the video. Hey guys, Mariah here, Coach Mariah with the Fit Minds podcast and vlog on YouTube. Today we've got a very special guest, Alex, my fiance, who we will be interviewing for the very first time. And I actually think that this would be the first time that our social media channels have actually heard Alex's voice, because it's always me talking. No coincidence that it's always me leading the way with socials. But Alex, I just wanted to start off with saying thank you for using your well-earned holidays to do this interview.
That's all right. Thank you for having me.
You live here, so it's a lot easier than you'd think to set this up.
It was a pretty big travel,
Yeah,
pretty big trip.
Yeah, for sure. So today we've got our sugar-free mothers to get us through this interview, because we need caffeine to keep us sane. Now, I want to start off with asking, first of all, figuring out who you are, Alex, other than being my fiance.
You should know that.
Other than being my fiance,
Yep.
who are you in my life, but also in your own life? What do you do for work? Tell us a bit about yourself, things you enjoy, some fun or weird facts about you, and something else that you think that the listeners/viewers might want to know about you.
My name's Alex. I'm Mariah's fiance. So for work, I am the National Head of Sales and Marketing for a workflow automation company. So I lead up the business process consulting division, the sales, the marketing, and the customer experience departments. Hobbies are obviously anything Mariah related, big fan of. Training, I go to the gym every now and then. Play futsal.
Just every now and then?
I try and get there
occasionally.
At least once a month.
Once a month, yep.
Once a month is what I aim for. I play a bit of sport, and then do dumb shit like play Call of Duty with the boys.
So what sports do you play, or have you played in your history of
Currently,
sporting?
I just play futsal.
Okay. Can you explain what futsal is for those listening who have no idea what that means?
Five-a-side indoor soccer.
Okay.
So I know I don't look like a traditional futsal player, but play Div 1 mixed futsal on the coast. I have played a lot of volleyball when I was younger. Did a lot of track and field when I was younger as well.
You played volleyball for Australia. That's something I like to brag about on his behalf, because I think that's a really big deal.
Yeah, I did that. I had a scholarship for QAS.
Yep.
So I used to play a fair bit of volleyball. And then same thing for track and field. So I did that for Queensland and at Nationals and so on as well, for a few different events. It's
safe to say that your cardiovascular fitness levels are much better than mine.
I'd like to say that would be impressive, but it's not, because yours are just
Mine are rat
terrible.
shit, honestly. I've had my VO2 max tested and it's below average, so it's not great.
You get puffed walking to the kitchen.
There's a common misconception that those who lift weights are actually really technically fit, and we're not. Whereas Alex is a hybrid of both. So he has the muscle mass, and he also has the, I wouldn't say a healthy heart, but certainly maybe healthier than mine, I guess. So obviously the work situation too, thanks for explaining that, because a lot of people assume, because I'm a coach and I'm in the fitness industry and I work with nutrition and training, that Alex is also a coach. But he is not. He has a full-time job in corporate world, which is vastly different to what I do.
Blanket, just corporate world.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time I actually didn't understand what his role entailed, or even the title of it, but now it's a lot simpler to understand, because it is just director of, so.
Mariah's been trying to convince me to be a coach for a while now.
I think he kind of is, like he's just, support coach at this stage, because he comes along to all the shows and posing classes, and he really does enjoy those, times. I think introducing you to this world was certainly, it was interesting, but it becomes second nature now, and something that if you see him at the shows, he looks like he's been doing this for years. So.
MJ Fit assistant coach.
Yeah.
And then proper coach to my mates.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So Cool. So I suppose any sort of weird facts about yourself that you think people might not know, like bone breaks or something like that? I know that you've got a good one.
Which one?
Which bone? I've never broken a bone in my body, whereas Alex, on the other hand,
I've broken most of them.
yeah.
Are you referring to the elbow?
Yeah, I mean the notorious elbow that just won't stop.
Broken that a few times, had many surgeries on it. It's got horrific arthritis in it at the young age of 28.
Should we just chop it off at this stage?
It'll be steel at some point. We'll replace it at some point when I'm a bit older.
Become the bionic man, and
We'll probably be doing the same thing for shoulders and so on as well.
I'm going to have a robot man as a partner. Yeah. Great.
I hate seafood and I can't whistle.
He hates seafood and he can't whistle, yeah. And also eggs. He doesn't like eggs by themselves.
I mind if they're baked into stuff. Like I like French toast. But
just some interesting little things.
Yeah. And I can't whistle.
And you can't whistle. We won't hold it against you.
You're a wanker.
So, how long have you been training in the gym for? What is... I've already asked that question about your sporting, but what does your training history look like with regards to weights training?
I did very little of it. Like when I was in school and so on and playing a lot of volleyball, we did incorporate weights training into our routines, but it was more movement based. So it was all explosive, jumping, acceleration drills, endurance drills with weights and so on, basically increasing your endurance, your vertical and power. Mm-hmm. Same with sprinting, triple jump, high jump and all that sort of stuff as well. So there wasn't too much traditional bro splitting or anything like that. Started weights training, I think I was in grade 12. Mm-hmm. And I joined a gym and I think, I was my height at the moment. So I was 6'2", very, very skinny. Didn't really know what
How skinny are we talking? Like, because I like hearing this and telling the viewers, someone who is now well over 100 kilos, how skinny exactly were you when you were first starting?
56 kilos.
56 kilos, which is lighter than me.
So I was 6'2", 56 kilos, very, very stringy, relatively lean. Mm-hmm. Very, very athletic. Like
you can get closer to me in this podcast. It's, we do love each other.
Very, very lean. But very much body built for other purposes.
Sure.
And then I started training, I think just for the same reason as a lot of people, like you sort of see, I think it was like Jeff's side and things like that. The physiques were around at the side, Jeff's side and so on. Traditional sort of Ziz. I didn't want to look like Ziz, but it was sort of that era. Yeah. And that's why
the confidence that they had as well, I think. Yeah.
And I always wanted to, that's why like when I started training, my goal was always to weigh 91.5 kilos.
Why?
That's what Jeff Side weighed. Well, he was just under, so I always wanted to weigh what he weighed. And I look back at that and I'm like, nah, too small.
Yeah, it's kind of like the never-ending. I think you'd agree with me in saying that it's a never-ending love affair with weights training, and certainly can be a bit, I guess, risky because you're never satisfied. So you want to keep getting bigger and better.
Yeah. So on and off with that, and then I've gone through stages where I'm playing futsal, 5, 6, 7 games a week, and other periods where I'm not playing sport at all. I'm sort of focusing on bodybuilding, but at the moment moving in towards more of a bodybuilding focus, dropping. I'm still playing at the moment, but it's my last season of futsal, so we can hopefully put some more size on and achieve some things. Yeah.
And the question on everyone's lips: have you ever competed before? Are you looking at competing?
I have not competed.
Crazy.
Never compeed.
And I've done 3 seasons.
Everyone asks me, when I'm getting back on stage. And I'm like, brother, I've never been on stage. We're looking at doing season A 2024 Classic Physique at the moment. Yeah. So that's the goal currently, put on a bit more size and get ready for that.
We're looking at doing prep together, which is going to be interesting to say the least, but it's been on our bucket list, and we've said many times before we're batshit crazy, so I can't wait for Alex to experience a prep, and it's very life-changing.
Yeah, I've been down to 4 or 5% before. I did a prep just to see if I could do a prep, see how far I could sort of push myself, but then obviously didn't step on stage at the time. Just didn't feel like I needed to. Yeah. It was weird. The first show I went to of yours or with your team made me really want to compete, and then every show I've been to after that has made me want to compete less and less.
It's there's always the positives and negatives to competing certainly when you're exposed to just any part of competing, whether it's a show or whether it's someone else competing who's in your direct circle. But we'll move on from that. So I want to ask you a couple of questions just from my end, and then obviously we've got some questions from our social channels because there's just a couple of things that they want to know, our people want to know. So first, our people, yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Alex is not very big on social, so he's still getting used to this world. So first of all, describe your diet in less than 10 words.
Simple. That's one word.
That's one word?
You did not give me a minimum word count.
10, well, come on.
Using as many as you can up to 10.
Yeah, I would say I would honestly put nuggets in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's a current thing. I found these low-fat nuggets and they're just
pizza
awesome.
And nuggets.
Yeah, Fro-Pro pizza is a staple.
It's
simple, repetitive, high protein and performance-based. Not enough veggies. I don't know how many.
I think you shift between just food for fuel and just flavor. So it's kind of like, I eat this because I really enjoy it. And then on the other side, you've got those meals that I know that you eat that most people would rather chew cardboard than just eat plain chicken and pasta. But he's like, meh, this is just for gym, So maybe it's a combination of both. Because I frequently do see this man eat pizza and nuggets, but it's in his macros.
It's always trying to find a balanced option, I guess. It's never just going out and eating 4, Domino's pizzas. It'll be like a Fro-Pro pizza, which is, 600 calories and 55
you look at
grams
the protein.
Yeah, 55, and it's pretty low calories.
Yeah. But you don't eat vegetables. This is a forever
but
fight.
But chickpea pasta counts as a vegetable.
Yeah,
so.
I'm a sports nutritionist and my fiance has a distaste for vegetables. I'd have to feed them to you in your sleep, I think, at this stage.
I eat fruit now, though.
He eats fruit now. Yeah, that's a development.
Yeah. So it's all about continuous improvement.
So I know that we've answered this question on our story, and I answer this question to, this is for new followers and anyone who kind of hasn't seen our story before, but I just want to very quickly sum up how we met because I get asked this quite a lot, and
many moons ago.
It's quite a long story, but the way it really works, I don't know, I tell the story, but he tells the story.
Yeah, well, I can tell it, or you can tell it.
Well,
so we met. Can we swear on this?
Oh, yes.
I think I have been.
Oh my God, I swear all the way through my other.
I think we met. We were very young. We were 22 and 23 or something.
Yeah. We didn't actually properly meet.
No. As in we first saw or recognised each other.
Yeah.
On Tinder.
Good old Tinder.
That eventuated to nothing.
Yeah, it literally went nowhere. It was one of those matches that was like...
Didn't talk to each other.
You're good looking, and we say nothing to each other. Not a word.
And then years later, I actually got a meal and training plan off you.
He did. No, you forgot the bit where you replied to my story. I remember the time.
Oh, yeah, you put up a quote one day.
Time he messaged me.
Years ago, you put up a quote, and it was a really good quote. And you messaged, I messaged you and I was like, hey, can I steal this quote? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, cool, thanks. And that was it.
In my mind, I was like, is he hitting on me? Is this him hitting on me? And then I was like, hold on, I didn't even know you still followed me. It was just and then nothing came from it. And I was really disappointed.
Yeah, sorry.
So, it's fine.
It was just
I was like, is he trying to?
But then, got a meal and training plan off you.
Started as a client.
Now
we're here.
Did that. Then when I was following that, we became pretty close.
Yeah, we talked a bit.
Yeah, talked
a lot,
a bit.
like every day for a while.
Yeah. Became very close.
But we just talked. That was the interesting thing, is that we were just speaking, like there was no sort of flirtation or anything. I think that was why it was really difficult for me to figure out whether or not I even had a chance with Alex, because I was being really professional, and then I thought, no, don't cross the boundaries. And but it was a good thing because it gave us a really long time to just know each other as people, and not have to worry about anything else really. And I think that was the early intentions was just to be friends. Yeah,
exactly. And then started getting a bit closer, obviously, more than friends. Well, sort of not really more than friends.
There was some flirting. It was it took a whole year though, mind you.
Bit of flirting, and then sort of just drifted.
Yeah, we lost contact for a bit. I think we both kind of went separate ways and did other things as you do when you're single and in and out of relationships and all sorts of stuff. But and then for it was a whole year, wasn't it? And then
didn't talk, and then so again back to it was the night I downloaded Tinder. and I saw Mariah, and I matched. Obviously, I swiped right or whatever. And then you did that night as well, and then I woke up to it, and you'd messaged me, and I responded, and then you were crook.
I had laryngitis. I don't know whether you guys remember when I lost my voice, but that was right at the end of that.
So you were sick, and I offered to bring you ice cream. So because it was when you still lived in the valley. So I brought you ice cream. I drove around to Baskin Robbins, and I brought like 3 liters of ice cream of like a bunch of different flavors.
Not overkill or anything.
And I was trying to, because she was crook, so I was trying to bring her flowers, and no one sold flowers. So
He brought me lollipops.
I found a place that sold lollipops, and I got like a flower-shaped lollipop. And I think they sat in your cupboard for like 6 months before you took them out.
I didn't have the heart to tell him I really didn't like lollipops.
No
that
one
much.
likes lollipops.
Yeah.
They're a fucking
But I kept
myth.
them because, I'm very sentimental.
Lollipop, they're an urban lie. No one actually enjoys lollipops.
Except kids.
But yeah, then we hung out, and I think we were talking until like, 3:30, 4 in the morning?
Long time. Yeah, we had it was just honestly just talking.
Yeah, and then went out for a date. I think it was next week.
It was honestly within that week, I think we were kind of half calling each other our partners. And I think within 2 days, maybe even 24 hours, I was like, I was going to delete Tinder. And he's like, yeah, I've already deleted it. So it was very...
Yeah, you were like, did you unmatch me? And I was like, no, I deleted it.
I deleted it.
And you were like, why? And I was like, well, I don't need it anymore.
Dream boys do exist. It's very quick.
But then, we went on a proper date a week later, and then I think we booked our first holiday together before we'd even gone on a proper date or something.
Yeah. We're like, what are you doing for Christmas? Do you want to go to... Where did we go?
We went
Bribey.
to Bribey.
Yeah.
We're not saying do that though.
Don't do this. Yeah, don't be like us. We went really slowly for like 5 years and then just went like that.
Yeah, we moved to the coast together a few months after that, and
now
we live on the sunny coast together. I mean, now we're engaged.
Yeah.
But yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. So, obviously, in that as well, I think because people often assume that like you just popped up in my life and then voila. I think that I like to tell people this story because it's all about, you never know, like the person that you want to be with or that you are currently with may have been in your life a lot previously. And the other cool thing was that when I was a young girl,
This is your dream thing?
Oh, actually, yeah, I'd always dream about my future husband. It sounds really weird because I'm actually not super spooky like this. I don't believe in, superstitious. I don't believe in, spooky, but like,
super spooky, superstitious.
Yeah, whatever. But I had dreams about my husband, my future partner, when I was very little, like really little. And weirdly, my whole life, I was never really, I guess into a particular type of person. But I always used to dream about a tall, dark features. It was really interesting, like a man just coming to save me all the time. So there you go. It was really strange that I ended up being with Alex. And then also, I think when we were like 8 years old, because we actually grew up in towns that were 2 hours apart. So weirdly,
I come from Gayndah and you're from
Bundaberg. Yeah. And so we were so close to each other, and his grandmother actually lived a street, like 2 streets, maybe a street and a half away from the house I grew up in. So from age 8 till 21, I lived in this house, and his grandma was actually a street and a half away.
We used to go visit grandma all the time.
Yeah. So I used to walk to my best friend's house, which was a couple of streets away. I had to walk that street every time, and I pretty much lived at my best friend's house if I wasn't at home. So I would have walked past Alex numerous times, and
we were at sporting carnivals, same sporting carnivals. Hey, like when you went, because we wouldn't have been for regionals, but for states and stuff, we would have been.
Yeah, we both went to
states at QE2 and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, the same stadium.
So we would have been on the same field together, which was really intriguing to find out later on in life. And so I guess it's kind of like this. I feel like in our lives that we've just slowly, become closer and closer and brought each other together. Over time. So yeah, kind of weird.
Eventually just peaking at living together and being engaged and planning a wedding.
Yeah, we haven't even started that yet. Don't even talk about planning the wedding on this podcast. I swear to God, I'm already getting anxiety about it. So moving on from that, what are our basic relationship goals for the next 5 years? Speaking of wedding, you know, obviously we want to get married in, is it 2024 that we're looking at?
Yeah, I think mid to late 2024 was the plan because we'll compete season A.
Yeah.
And then get married a couple of months after that.
Yeah.
This year, obviously, buy a house.
Yeah.
Get all that sorted.
So we've got some financial goals this year to buy a house and get ourselves into a position where we're more stable. So, you know...
Or more, less, dictated by rental markets.
Oh yeah, I mean the amount of times that I've had to move around, like 29 times in my 30 years, and you know Alex has experienced it, even just us being together for the time we have. And we've had to move 3 times now. Yeah, so
yeah, what else? 5 years.
Yeah, getting married, competing.
Yeah, getting married, competing, buy a house, and probably buy a second one as well.
Yeah, second house, and then obviously if it ends up working out, we do want to have children, but you know, I think I've talked about this a little bit on socials. That takes a lot of planning and everything, so we're just going to see how we go with it. But certainly my approach has been, you know, for anyone who's said anything lovely to both Alex and I about the situation, is that I don't want to ever be bitter or sad, and certainly be in a position where we are grateful for if we do fall pregnant or eventually, and we're not going to push or force it or anything like that. So certainly just try and take life as naturally as it comes. Okay, here's one that's not so soppy. Pet peeves about each other. I don't know who should go first. I feel like Alex should go first because then I can prepare myself with some possibly worse.
It's hard to think of one when you're engaged.
Shut up. This is why when people think our relationship is perfect, all right, because obviously it's all sunshine and rainbows on socials, but we piss each other off like regularly. I think actually sometimes it's a goal to piss each other off.
It's fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends what mood you're in.
Yeah.
I'll go first if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead.
How about we interview you? I know
I'm just going to drink. I'm just going to sit here and sip my caffeine. It's fine.
Oh, and I will say that one too. But the fact that you're late for everything is massive. Like when you're like, I'm leaving now.
I actually hate this about myself too.
Could mean you're leaving now, or you're leaving at some point in the next 3 hours.
I get very distracted.
So easily.
Yeah.
That's probably my biggest. And the way that you pack the dishwasher.
I still haven't. No, this is open for debate because I think the way I pack the dishwasher is perfectly fine.
Yeah, go on.
I stack. I think this is very common for women though. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that a lot of women do pack the dishwasher the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to a biological reason. There's got to be some sort of.
Well, men are better at spatial awareness.
There you go. Also, probably the way I drive too. You don't like the way I drive.
It's not a pet peeve because I just drive this everywhere.
Yeah.
We take your car, but I drive.
I can't park.
So for those of you out there, tell me if I'm wrong, but you pack a dishwasher from the back forwards, because if you pack it from the front back, you have to reach around the dishes you've already put in there to put the stuff at the back, and that doesn't make sense. Whereas if you pack it from the back forwards, you've always got space.
Or you could just roll the thing out and then just put it in.
No, that's wrong as well.
What are some rollers for?
No.
Okay, anyway, so late and the way I pack the dishwasher. Those two things?
Yeah, I'm going to lock them in.
Lock them in, Eddie?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are yours, darling?
I think you already knew what my first one was. My biggest pet peeve is the fact that he will take his pants off and just leave them on the floor where they are. Like, it could be anywhere. It could be in the middle of the lounge room, could be in the toilet.
Yeah.
They just stay there. That's where the pants...
That's them home.
That's him home?
That's him
That's
home.
where that's where they... That's him home.
That's him home.
That's what I get. That's the response I get. I say, what are these? He's like, they're pants.
Put them back. That's his home.
They live there. Socks, shoes, like everything. Just I always say in the morning that I clean up the Alex tornado because when he gets ready for work, he gets ready so quickly
and quietly.
Because he leaves little things everywhere. My second one is your beard hairs in the sink. Like, I know that's still leaving things. But he says he's cleaned them. He's like, yeah, I cleaned my beard hairs.
I've done a boy clean.
He's got a bit of hair, right? So, you know, it takes a
it?
while to shave your body hair.
Oh, yeah. That's not beard hairs, though.
I do his back occasionally for him, so.
Thanks,
yeah.
That's what love
occasionally, it's been a while.
People think it's singing in the rain and dancing, but it's
shaving
not. Shaving each other's back. Shaving each other's like I'm going to shave yours. You hairy back bitch.
No. God. I'm actually like pretty hairless. I don't have a lot of body hair.
Can vouch.
So anyway, moving on from that, keeping this podcast as PG as possible. Your beard hairs, because he doesn't properly clean them out of the sink. There's still he still manages to it's like glitter. You know when you throw glitter and it goes fucking everywhere?
Yeah.
That's your beard hairs.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much my only...
I was going to say we're adding a third.
And probably the way he makes the bed too is, like, I like it, but then
yeah.
he always kind of just doesn't quite finish it properly.
Yeah, it hasn't got the finesse of the way
Yeah.
you would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's my pet peeves.
Okay. So
Alright.
you just added the third one in.
Yeah, because that's why I
Actually,
told
while
him
we're here,
that's why I told him to go first. So
let's talk this out. I've got some things I want to get off
this
my chest.
podcast turns into couples counselling. Okay, we've got to move on. We've got more topics here.
Yeah.
So, very quickly,
Do we look at what do we do?
doesn't matter. You just keep going.
way too far into this. for me
No,
to ask that
it's
question.
fine. I've got Carol, you're the best VA in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She'll edit this. We may even make it to be 2 podcasts, part 1, part 2. Your thoughts on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, what do you think about them, positives and negatives, the way you view it and the way you use it?
I think they're a great tool. I think there's a lot of positives and there's a lot of negatives. For example, in your industry, in the fitness industry and so on, they're a really good tool. They're advertising their exposure, their engagements and so on. So I think they're almost like a necessary evil in some industries.
Yeah.
I've got PT mates that have told me if they weren't PTs, they would delete it at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. Yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of it. I've got it, obviously, I've got it. But I pretty much post photos of us and that's about it. So it's like, if you follow me, you're just gonna see Mariah.
Yeah.
But
That's also not, I don't like control your social media. He's just not, even like...
But it's the same with anything. I don't really take that many photos and progress photos and doing selfies and shit like that. It's just not something I'm big on. And maybe it'll change, maybe it won't, I don't know.
But before we got together and when we got together, Alex didn't have Instagram, he'd deleted it.
Yeah, I didn't have it. And then we got together and I was like, yeah, and that's probably a good opportunity to talk about a pro. Because I follow mates and stuff like that, and you can support
group chats.
What your mates are doing, and group chats. I've got a group chat just for who's online for COD, and then there's 10, 12 of us that are in our gym circle, just the boys are in a gym boys chat, and they just send constant memes and reels and stuff, and it's good banter. So it's a good way to connect. I think it becomes very dangerous if you start to think it's everything, or you start to put too much weight on social media. Because at the end of the day, in my mind, right, at the end of the day, no one fucking cares what you post. And I know everyone thinks differently, but not you, I'm just meaning in general, no one gives a fuck really what you post.
As in no one, if people do care about what you're posting and they're so concerned about what you're posting, then, or if they're being critical of you, then you could just remove them. You don't need them in your life.
The person that will care most about what you're posting is you. And it's you've got to remember that.
Yeah.
And I think I know I've got mates that don't have it and don't post anything. I think it's if you want to post. If you don't. If you want to take selfies, take them. If you're proud, you want to do that. That makes you feel good. Take fucking 100 photos a day. If you don't, then don't do it.
If you look at our chat on Instagram, mine and Alex's chat, we actually just send each other bulk reels of dogs and funny things. So I like it for the fact that we get to interact on it as well. Even though I use it for my work, I actually see it now as purely work because there's a lot of private things I don't put on social media as well. People think they know everything about me and they wouldn't have the first clue because what we put on social media is what we want people to see. So
it's almost staged is the wrong idea. It's very curated.
You won't see some of the best moments of our lives together, which is just dancing in the kitchen or, we don't do that. We don't film those random little moments. It's cute when couples do it, but also we just enjoy that moment to ourselves. We don't need to share it with the whole world because I think that kind of taints it a little bit.
Yeah, I think you've got to find some sort of balance of enjoying a moment that you're in without feeling the need to take photos of it and things like that.
Obliged. Yeah.
Versus as well wanting to have good memories. I think there is a balance. I don't think you should never take photos and stuff like that. We take photos together.
We have a photo album.
Yeah, we take photos on us and stuff, and every now and then we've filled up a couple photo albums now, and I'll go print them, so we've got something to look back on, rather than just having something on social media. We've got both, but so I think there's probably more than one way to create memories, but I'm not saying either one of them is better.
Yeah, I like that because I think a lot of people almost question why people don't have certain social media channels. Like, you know, I've got TikTok technically, but I don't actually have TikTok on my phone, and I'm very like transparent about this. I don't use TikTok. Someone runs my TikTok and just reposts what we post on other social media channels.
Instagram saw it first, people.
Yeah, well, sometimes we do post on TikTok first, depending on how
Oh,
long. Yeah, depending on how long the reel is. But the reason why I didn't get into TikTok is because I swore to myself as soon as that new platform came about that I wouldn't give myself another thing to be addicted to, and I heard a lot of people like say it's quite addictive, even though we've got Insta Reels, but TikTok is certainly, it preys on people, and you know, I think it can be good, but
Yeah,
if you get stuck on it for hours, you're kind of screwed.
You hear about that stuff where like you go on in between tasks and you go on to like kill 5 minutes and then 3 hours later and you're like, fuck, I haven't done anything. So I think, but that's what, again, like that's the company doing well. That's the platform doing what it's supposed to do. But I feel like it can very negatively impact people. Like with YouTube comments as well that you've received recently.
Yeah.
Social media can be a super negative place because people are behind a screen. Like
Bullying,
people can say what they want.
Yeah.
With unsavory comments and just things that you'd never. What I think social media has brought on all platforms, you know, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, is people say stuff that they never would have previously because they're behind a screen.
Yeah.
And I don't love that side of things.
I think if you wouldn't say it to somebody's face, I think saying it behind a screen is the worst. And I don't think either of us have been internet trolls. Like I can put my hand up and say I've never once commented on someone's video or photo and gone,
If you don't like
said something nasty.
scroll past it.
I don't say yuck or, you know, ooh, why would you do that? Or the only time I would ever say anything is if somebody is bullying someone else in a post. You know, if it seems like it's a bullying thing, I'd say, hey, like, don't single that person out. That's not okay, you know, because we've both been victim or fallen victim to bullying in the past, and it's something that we're pretty passionate about. So yeah, I like that. Nice talking points there. Nice talking points, mate.
Thanks, Dom.
Yeah. So something you've always wanted to do in life that you have not done yet, something that you, maybe it doesn't have to be related to me, but something that you've been dreaming of doing or wanted to do and you haven't done. I don't actually know what this would be for you, so this is interesting.
I don't know what this would be for me either.
Because I wouldn't say maybe travel a little bit more, but then that really hasn't been burning. Maybe get more tattoos.
Yeah, I was going to say probably more tattoos.
I got him.
On there. But I mean, that's some of those are already planned.
Yeah, because we're gonna travel after the wedding.
Yeah, we'll do a fair bit away.
Yeah.
No, I think there's certain things that I want to achieve. Rather, not necessarily things I want to do, but certain things
that's kind of what I was getting towards. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like obviously I'm as high up in my company as you can really go, but owning half of a company or something like that, buying into and then building an empire is such an overused word. I hate that term, but
yeah, it's very cliche.
Yeah, building something like that, building up different teams in a workplace environment that can, do what you do, similar to what you do with your clients, empowering them to go and sort of run along without you once they've been with you for a couple of years. I think the end goal is always empowering people is one thing I want to achieve. And the second thing is probably just, and it sounds terrible, but like owning a McLaren.
Oh my God, if I'm around for that, I swear to God, I will.
I'm just going to turn up with it.
No, it's not happening. This is one area we don't agree on, is like spending ridiculous amounts of money on cars versus things that are investments.
Yeah, no, you'd have to own like 5 or 6 houses.
It would have to be at a point where the McLaren wouldn't even put a dent in your finances it'd be like buying a Suzuki Swift or something. But I think, if I have any say in finances, which I do.
All of them.
We can have a McLaren poster on the wall. We can have a poster of a McLaren, even if you can afford it. No, but that's great. I'm really glad you have those two major goals, and I wholeheartedly support one of them.
Yeah, obviously getting married, but we're on.
But you're personally what you want to do.
Oh, obviously compete as well, but
yeah,
I'm just talking about things that are sort of further on the horizon.
I think owning a company or partial part of a company is certainly a major goal. I currently run a company, but it's a small company. I think Alex is talking about big scale shit, which is highly likely for the direction he's been going in with his work. And I think as partners and life partners and best friends, it is our our priority to support each other in those endeavours and not to work against each other. So whenever we have a goal or we say, look, I want to do this or I want to achieve this, it's just go time, isn't it? It's like, okay, what do we need to do? Like, what do I need to do? What do you need from me? What needs to be actioned or not actioned as well? Like, where do we need to bring money, like not spend money or that type of stuff. So there's all those decisions get talked about, but I would never hold you back from a career or building your future. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, I love that. So the next question before we move on to the social media questions is things that you're proud that you have achieved in your life thus far. So things, it doesn't have to involve me because I know that you may put that in there, but I kind of want to know, like, what have you done so far in your life that you're really proud of?
Obviously, number one is getting engaged to you. You know, when you think about, you know, you're like, what's the best moment of your life kind of thing. I think the day we got engaged is...
It's there.
It's probably it, yeah. It's not even there, like that'd be it. Proud of achievements wise, I guess probably physically, like starting at something like, you know, weights training, 56 kilos, and then, like you said, you know, building up to well over 100. Relatively lean kilos, and then, you know, still going is, you know, adding 50 odd kilos to your frame.
Through injuries as well, mind you, because this hasn't, I think a lot of people think that when you see a big, you know, staunch fella that it's just, that's it, but...
A lot of it's, I didn't train there as well. Like I didn't, there were periods where I didn't train at all. Like if I started pre-season for a sport or something like that, and my coach would say, you need to stop, you need to shrink, like you're too big. So I dropped 10 kilos just to be able, otherwise I couldn't, you know, run for more than half an hour. So yeah, I'm in a pretty comfortable spot now, but yeah, probably that. Second of all, probably be career-wise.
Wait, hold on. You said engagement and then building muscle. So this is the third.
Yeah. Well, I mean, engagement was a given, so I didn't give it a number.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just what I've done in
your
the
career.
Yeah.
Certainly in the last couple of years too, I think, with your career. But even it was built off of, you know, when you were originally managing the McDonald's.
Yeah, when I worked for the group of stores there. Yeah. No, I think coming from out of industry completely, because I came on as obviously a junior consultant. And then was promoted 6 months later to a normal consultant, was promoted 6 months later again, and then promoted a year after that, then promoted again a year after that kind of thing. So it's been pretty like steady progression, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's safe to say that you're very driven, because I think that's one of the things I like the most about you and love the most about you is that you're driven, you have aspirations, you are very, I suppose like we both are, we're perfectionists, we're really hard on ourselves, but Alex just pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes, and if there's another challenge, he'll push towards it. I don't think you're comfortable without challenges, without some sort of thing to head towards. So yeah, you're very relentless in your dedication, commitment, work ethic.
Some of that stuff, like those characteristics we'll get to when we're talking about prep and training and stuff like that as well, because a lot of it carries over. Yeah,
for sure. This is what's interesting about comp prep, is that people think that competition prep is just about being muscular and looking good. It's cliche saying it's a byproduct, but everything that comes with it mentally gives you an advantage towards other areas
and different
of life.
Approaches and like where people find motivation and stuff like that's very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Where it comes from, whether it's intrinsic or extrinsic, etc. Okay, so now I'm done with my questions, the most important questions. No, and now we have some social media questions, which were the 3 that we got from our Q&A, because these seem to be the burning questions on your mind. So the first one, in relation to the previous topic of discussion, how do we stay sane during comp prep periods? And I think this was initially meant to be in reference to my comp prep period of when I was going through shows, and I had my, like last season, which was, I think I decided to prep 6 months into our relationship or something like that. It was something crazy.
Yeah, I thought we knew you were going to prep again. It was always on the cards. Yeah. And then you were like, I'm prepping.
I'm prepping myself.
I think we learnt a lot from that though.
Yeah. So I guess to answer that question, I mean, I'll probably go first because I was in the prep. And then I want to answer this as well from the perspective of how do we stay sane during competition prep for my clients.
Athletes, yeah.
Because people must think that my prep would be the most stressful experience on the relationship. It's true, but also I think it's probably more stressful having bigger teams of comp prep clients because
I think yours is the most stressful physically, obviously,
Yeah.
with like
Prep.
different sides and all that sort of stuff. But your athletes are probably more stressful relationship-wise. I'm not saying you guys are bad athletes,
we love you.
but on the relationship, at different points throughout a prep period.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So I would say that the way that we stayed sane during my prep was probably being in a routine was really like methodical.
We didn't.
No, but we didn't. Honestly, the honest answer is we didn't stay sane. We did go a little crazy. In fact, because anyone who's competed before knows that you hit a certain point where your brain just switches and changes. Your personality changes, like everything changes. So then your partner has to get used to a completely different version of you, and everything is affected. Everything from the very obvious, and obviously no one likes to talk about it, but your sex life is affected. Your like whether you're affectionate to each other is affected. Your moods are affected.
Yeah, your tolerance for things.
People-
your decision-making ability.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, you don't get to go on date nights. That's not the worst of it.
No, because we're probably skipping ahead, but that's really easy.
It is.
That's one of the easiest things I think to. So I think when you're
Navigate.
starting a prep, I think there's some really big conversations that you should have. If you're in prep, you've got a partner and so on. Because if you think, it's going to be the same, nothing's going to change, I'm not going to call you an idiot, but
You're wrong. Yeah. It won't be the same as what it was previously.
It won't be the same, especially if. Because I think even some of the conversations we had were like, it's not going to change too much until X weeks out, and like 2 months before that, it was changing a lot. So you can be as optimistic as you want, and realistic as well. So little things like not going out to eat, and not going on date nights, change your date nights.
Yeah, like we went to Grilled for my diet break week, and I just tracked the burger, and that was like a nice celebration.
But instead of going out for dinner and things like that, we would go find mountains to hike because you would need to get steps in. We'd go for walks, we would do things like that. We'd go bowling and do whatever.
You change the idea of what quality time looks like, and it doesn't have to always be paying for someone else to make your food.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of date nights are associated with food and stuff like that.
And spending money.
Yeah. Which
we saved a bit of money though. Like in that time, we didn't spend a lot of money on takeout. That's for sure.
Yeah, I got shredded too.
He got shredded. He did his prep with me.
I got accidentally shredded because how much we were walking and how well we were eating.
Yeah, because we were eating like just similar meals
when
too.
When you prepped at that show, I think I scanned in at like 6
less than that.
5.7% body fat or something.
And he wasn't even trying to do it on purpose.
I wasn't even intentionally prepping. That's skinny boy genes though, right there. Like I lose fat really easily. The other thing is, it's from a partner's perspective, it's really worrying. A lot of people go, well, it's my prep, it's mine, it doesn't affect anyone else. But watching your partner starve themselves, because it's what prep is. Obviously, there's pushing in the gym and all that sort of stuff as well. But you're starving yourself for 20 weeks, 26 weeks.
It's predominantly what it is, yeah.
And your decision making is affected. Your motor skills towards prep is
dropping
affected.
everything.
Your memory is affected. It's worrying for someone to see, not because what they think you're doing is unsafe or unhealthy and they want you to stop, but it's always in the back of your mind of like,
what if,
I think we got to a
something
point
bad happens?
Like one day where I was like,
you're not driving home
you're not,
from
yeah,
the
you're
gym,
not, or we would, if you were too tired, we would stay on the phone, so you'd stay awake while you were driving.
Alex honestly did a lot for me in my prep. It was the easiest prep because of Alex. I didn't have a coach because my coach that I did have, he honestly said, you've got this, you know how to prep yourself, like you don't need me. So I did prep myself, but in saying that, the closest thing I had to a coach was Alex, because he would come home and my dinner would be made as per my macros. He would, make sure that he would clean up the house while I was going out for a walk to get the rest of my steps in. We would play a game in the house to help me get the rest of my steps in.
We're going to bed at midnight and you still had 1,000 steps to do and you're like, I'm tired. I'm like, no, you're doing those fucking steps.
Yeah.
And we used to play, I'd give you a colour and you'd have to walk to the wardrobe and you would have to touch a piece of that colour and then run back, and if you ran back,
keep me alert.
How quickly can you do some certain laps of the house? I'll time you and all that sort of stuff. Like you just turn everything into a game. Because as well, like with under eating, your body struggles to create dopamine and all, happy chemicals and stuff. So
depression and anxiety hits really, probably more so depression towards the end. Anxiety is certainly a part of obviously wondering whether you're going to be ready and everything, but I was really low in the final weeks. I remember, I don't cry a lot, but like I was a person who towards the end, Alex sees me. He's the only person who sees me cry. But towards the end, I was probably crying on average once a week. And then there were times where it was just like every night for a couple of nights in a row. Not because I was hungry or tired, but I didn't have any feelings. I couldn't feel anything. I didn't have any.
Very disassociated.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. I just kept saying to him, like, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like me. I feel like someone's taken my personality and my everything. So it was really difficult to, honestly, really difficult to keep up my persona on social media as well and try and convince people that I was still semi-alive. But working was really easy. Like, weirdly, I didn't make any mistakes with working because it comes so second nature to me. So coaching was, I could have done that on autopilot. But certainly our relationship, getting through that was, I think, the biggest challenge of our relationship. It changed the dynamic forever, permanently, pretty much. But I think now we're prepared for anything. We always tackle a lot of big things all at once in life as well. Like, I'm studying at the moment, which is taking up a lot of time in the relationship. But even the new puppy as well, that type of stuff. So, but also with prepping other clients, that taxing part of things is just literally because generally the first 12 weeks of prepping clients, if you've got 10 or 12 clients, which I now do in every season pretty much, is that everything's pretty good. I might go to a posing class every few weeks, and my clients message me at a pretty standard rate during the day, and I can keep up with the type of communication that we're having. But it's about 8 weeks out, and I always tell Alex, it's 8 weeks out, and I will have my clients message me and they are going into tailspins, or they're having lots of mental flips and things, which I went through as well myself, so I totally get it. And it's very high maintenance. It's like, I'll get messages at 10 o'clock at night, and they're not just messages that you can just let lie. You need to get onto it straight away. That's how people make it to stage, is because they've got support. And a lot of people don't have wonderful partners like Alex. They don't have this person in their life that's able to show up for them every day and support them in that journey. So I end up being that person for people, and that then takes away from our personal and intimate time together as well, which can be very frustrating for Alex, because it's, when we're trying to have a weekend to ourselves and I'm getting pulled away to work all the time. I think that would, from my perspective, that would be the hardest part. And then obviously the shows, how long the shows are. When we go to shows, we just don't eat the whole day. It's really quite unhealthy what we have to do to get through a show. And even though people say, look, you should eat, like, make sure you eat, you just can't when you've got back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah, you're like, we've got people on stage now, stage time next. I've got 3 people pumping up backstage.
5 minutes apart.
You've got 8 people, back in the athletes area. It's like, have you eaten? When's the last time you drank? Or you salt? Like, you're constantly just running everywhere.
From like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. So it's like a full 12-hour day. It's pretty full on. Yeah. So yeah, we don't stay sane, but we support each other.
The support, I think, is covered in the next one. So that's probably...
Yeah. So the next question is, we'll ask this one now. Maintaining a healthy relationship hacks. I think we'll probably try and stick to some simple things, because we've obviously covered quite a bit in this podcast already. But what do you think would be your advice for maintaining? Because I think people really do assume that we have a perfect relationship, and
we don't.
We don't. Like, things get really fiery between us. It's not. We don't have one of those relationships where it's like we don't fight. We fight frequently, not every day, but let's have a fight now.
Do we fight more often than I think we did?
No. Honestly, it's just, you live with each other, you're around each other a lot. We're both very determined, stubborn, hot-headed people. So we end up butting heads eventually about whatever it might be. But I guess, what are your hacks for maintaining a healthy relationship, Alex?
I think your relationship needs to be... So maintaining relationships really easy if you break it down to a couple of simple things. Making choices and investment. Yeah. So it's the same with anything. It's an investment which is going to need time. Like, what do you need to do when you're further in your career? What do you need to do when you're prepping? You need to allocate more time to gym. You need to allocate more time to work. It's going to consume more stuff. You want to grow your business. You want to reach the next level. You want to make sure everything's healthy and happy, and you're going for that pay rise, whatever. You're going to need to put in effort.
Yeah.
If you don't give it that time and that effort, it's like something's going to give.
Yeah.
If you don't train, you're 4, 5, 6 days in the gym, you're not going to make the progress you want to make. And I think relationships, they're not a chore, but they're not easy. They require commitment and they require...
Yeah, if you want this nice thing in your life of somebody who's going to keep you company and like obviously be someone to spend time with, and when you find convenient for you as well, you've got to understand that it's not just on your terms all the time for everything. Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's like if you find the time, if you can find the time to train and you can find the time to do whatever, it's like, you know, the whole saying, it's like everyone's got the same 24 hours in a day. If you're not investing time in your relationship, you know, you're putting your phone down, you're doing whatever, other areas might, you know, your business might be going great, you could look better than you ever does, but your relationship will start to struggle. And you look at it and you're like, well, I haven't been giving it the time.
Yeah.
And that's where you just need to reflect and go, what have I done? Okay, or what have we done? It's, you know, collaborative thing. We haven't invested into this. So how are we expecting it to pay dividends?
Well, there's a lot of circumstances and situations where like I'll be on my phone for work, and it just happened before I was in the pool and I was doing the Q&A, and Alex came near me and I was like, hey, what's up? Like I put my phone down and I was like, hey, do you need me? So often it's picking up on what your partner needs from you and wants from you in the moment, but also understanding that like your life will change. You're not going to have... I'm a person who loves my solitude. I'm actually really introverted and I like a lot of time alone. I had to adjust very much to having Alex around a lot more than what I was used to. And he had to adjust in the other direction as well, where he had to adjust to a partner maybe needing some time alone and, you know, not wanting to do a lot of things together all the time. But we found a happy medium with each other. We kind of started talking about what our non-negotiables were in situations and trying to come a little bit... It's always going in the other person's direction a little bit and then them coming in yours. You can't just kind of go, well, I want this and therefore you've got to come to me. You've got to think about, well, what do they want from me? And not tit for tat. That's my biggest thing is like, don't ever expect something from somebody just because you do something. So if you do something for your partner, do it out of the kindness of your heart. If they do nice things back, you know, that's completely fine as well, but let it come naturally.
Yeah, you don't make someone dinner because you want dinner made.
No, exactly. And then say, well, I made you dinner, so I deserve this kind of thing.
Yeah, so I think look at it like an investment. Look at your time like an investment and choose where you're investing it. And that's where your life's going to sort of grow. And the other thing is daily decisions. It's the same with anything. You know, you have a goal of something 2 years from now with work or buying a house, whatever. You're not going to go, well, I'm buying a house today. It's what can I do today to get one step closer to that? And the daily decision is just breaks down to the choices. You know, I choose to train today. I wake up, you know, how can I, you know, sometimes I just wake up and I ask you, what can I do today to show you love? Alex
makes me a coffee every single morning without fail.
Yeah.
And brings it into me in the bedroom.
What can I do today to show you love or to show you that you're appreciated? And you wake up and intrinsically, and I'm going to love this person today. I'm going to show them love and all that sort of stuff. And having that sort of mindset where it's not necessarily, I'm not going to buy them a present today, but it's like, what can I do to show them they're valued and appreciated and whatever. And it might not be doing anything. It might be saying something. It might be, you know, watching a movie together. It might be whatever. But I think, yeah, relationship is just a series of choices. And if you make sure that they're always in your best interest and their best interest, the relationship's going to be fine.
Combination of both. And also putting yourself out of your comfort zone as well. Like so many people get into relationships and then they're like, oh, but I, you know, but this, but I can't this and this and this. And then come up with all these reasons why they can't be in a relationship. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, then you need to go away and work on yourself. Because if a lot of it's pointing towards, I can't do this, I don't want to do this, etc., probably not your person. Or you need to go and literally do some work, you know, go see a psychologist or, you know, go do some soul searching, whatever it is, to be a little bit more secure in yourself so that you don't feel like you're giving up yourself if you are getting into a relationship, because they become your best friend, your partner in crime. And it's an advantage having a partner, because there are times when you're not doing well where that person's going to show up and who's going to be able to encourage you.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, that, you know, relationships 50-50, but it's not. A relationship is some days 80-20 and some days it's 50-50 and some days it's 40-60. It depends on that person on that day. But I think that's the biggest thing is realize it's not just about you anymore, because it's not.
No. And lots of communication. That's been one thing that I think that, like, one thing I'm terrible with is, and this is just obviously from person to person, I'm really shitty with just thinking about the other person and going, oh, like sometimes I forget about Alex and I'll be like, oh, I might get myself a drink or something like that. I've gotten better lately with being like, would you like a drink? Or, you know, just small little things here and there where I'm like, oh, I should tell Alex I'm doing this, or I should, you know, give him some notice. And then, I don't know, what are you not so good with?
communication-wise?
Communication.
Explaining the reason why
Communication.
behind things.
Yeah, so he'll just be like, no.
Yeah.
Or he'll be
Do you
like,
want to do this? No.
yeah,
Instead of being like, no, I'm pretty tired.
etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to figure out what both of your weaknesses are and then just challenge yourself on it. But certainly if you're communicating to your partner, look, I need this from you or whatever, we've found in many times before and plenty of times is that attacking each other just leads to an argument. So, and we still fight. We fight less frequently now though. We discuss more than we fight now. So that's pretty much what I would say. Oh, our puppy's awake. So,
Come on, darling.
we're just going, hello, welcome to the podcast. There you go.
Hey, darling.
The next question is, how do we stay motivated in the morning? How do we stay on track with our goals? Now, I'm just going to start this one with saying that we are not morning people. We don't stay motivated in the morning. Coffee, caffeine gets us going.
As much as I get up early in the mornings, I don't like it.
We have a cuddle in the morning. We always have like a bit of a cuddle. And we always show each other a bit of love in the morning, like whether it's just a simple kiss or like he never leaves the house without giving me a kiss or saying goodbye. That's kind of the rule, is that you're not allowed to do that. You've got to say I love you and all that type of stuff. Just be nice to each other. But we're not morning people. We don't train in the morning. We're not Fitzbos. We don't get up at 5 a.m. and have our green smoothie. Like, we groan. He gets up earlier than I do to go to Brisbane, or, you know, I just in general, like I sleep a little bit more. Women obviously need more sleep. But we're not motivated people. I think the way that we stay driven with each other is we keep each other accountable. So on nights where Alex is like, no, I don't feel like going to the gym, it's actually less frequent for him. He doesn't often say that. I'll say, please go to the gym for me. Please take care of yourself today. And that's all it takes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like training. Oh, you should train. Yeah, fuck, you're right.
And Alex just nags me, but in a really nice way. So he'll be like, you going to the gym, babe? You going to the gym, babe? You going to the gym, babe?
When are you
going to the gym? What are you training? So he just kind of like presses in a really polite way. And I, because I get distracted, obviously. So he just brings me back to where I need to be to kind of focus. And I remind him that him doing things are good for him and his self-care. And he reminds me to remember what I was doing. So I think that's
Motivated's a very...
It's a terrible word.
It's not a terrible word. It's an interesting choice of words.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is, why give yourself a choice?
Yeah, so you're saying about motivation.
The way I break it down is, why give yourself a choice if you're trying to achieve something? When people are like, I don't feel like going to the gym today, or I'm tired, or, I'm dieting, so I haven't got much. Why is it a fucking choice to go? Like, why are you even considering not going?
I think it's kind of like it's non-negotiable. It's not an option. Giving yourself this whole I don't feel like it type of attitude is, well, it's pretty much adopting the attitude of a 3-year-old. Like you're being a child. Yeah,
if you only do things that you want to do, you're never going to achieve shit.
No.
And that's the same with no one fucking feels like mowing the lawn. No. But you've got to mow the lawn.
Especially when I ask him to mow the lawn. He doesn't feel like mowing the lawn. But if I say I'm going to mow the lawn, or the lawn's looking really long,
I'm on that fucking lawn.
He's there.
You will not.
2 seconds.
I think if you're with someone, communicating what your goals are, and then as a partner figuring out how you can not, because you're never going to achieve something for someone.
No.
But how you can help in small ways to help that person achieve things.
They're like cues, I think, like little mental cues. And certainly, but also listening to each other as well. Like if he's genuinely sore and injured and which often he will go and try and train through pain. I admit that's very much a male thing. But if Alex is, his knee is just, he can't walk properly, or his elbow is really playing up, I'll just say, no, you're not going to the gym, you're taking a rest day. And if I'm really tired and I'm really wrecked, or, I've trained 3 or 4 days in a row and I haven't had a rest day, Alex will be like, when did you last have a rest day? So a lot of our motivation and getting ourselves into a routine is communication with each other and understanding each other's cues, and that's how we work as a partnership, is just that dynamic.
Little things, like when you're in prep, it's because you can't do something for someone, but you can, I guess, as a peripheral sort of motivator, help them in certain ways. Like the cooking dinner, I got real good at prepping potatoes so quick. I remember the happiest moment of your entire prep for me because you used to have 200 grams of Spud Light, was when I found a Spud Light potato that weighed exactly
It was perfectly 200 grams. Everyone knows how it feels.
And I sent you a photo of it. I'm like, I'm done. I can die now.
Yeah, yeah. I actually hooked him on the whole macro tracking for me.
But like because you would train and you'd have to do steps, so you'd train later than I would. So I'd go do my session when you were there. I'd come home and I'd make your dinner, so it was ready for you. Which also meant that I could go to bed because I'd have to be up at 5 in the morning, kind of thing. So it wasn't keeping me up; it also was helping you.
Even with getting the puppy too, we've figured out a routine of that I take care of her when he's at the gym and vice versa, or like if he's having a nap, I'll take care of her outside. So it's a lot of teamwork, it's a lot of negotiation, and also putting aside bitterness as well, because if you're bitter in a relationship about things you've got to do to help your partner, then why are you in a partnership? You know, you need to be very charitable with each other.
Yeah, and be proud of the person for achieving. Like I remember the proudest moment in our relationship. The happiest is obviously when we got engaged, but the proudest is, I've got it on my keyring obviously, the thing was when you won your pro card.
Yeah. Hey, I don't think I heard anyone clap louder than Alex.
Hands.
I think Alex bruised his hands clapping for me when I went pro. So yeah, and that famous moment of him lifting me up on stage was certainly very memorable. Sorry, we've got the dog now, so the vlog has become 10 times more exciting. She's just woken up from a nap. And
She has not.
She's not?
She's napping.
Oh, she's napping now. Sorry, she woke up from a nap to come from another nap. Okay, so I think that's probably the social media questions done. We're going to do some games before we finish up the podcast very quickly because we like to finish a interview with some light-hearted games. Okay, so first off, hold on. I need to get this away from you so you can't see it.
I've already read them.
Oh my goodness. Can't keep anything from him. Hold on. He's the worst. I can't surprise him because he figures things out. Okay. Word relation game, 5 words. First word to come to your mind, and let's go. First word, beard.
Hair.
Flower.
It's in the sink.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. See, you can tell I'm already trying to tell him again, go clean up your beard hair. Flower.
Sun. Because your favourite flowers are sunflowers.
Oh, that's cute. Long. PG, babe, PG.
Not dick. Jump.
Long jump.
Yeah.
Why did you think long dick? Huh? Can we? I feel like we should. No, we'll just keep that in there. That's fine, Carol. Keep it in there.
Sorry, Carol.
Give the viewers what they want. Oh, she's gone onto the other couch to nap now. Happy.
You.
Oh, that's nice. Gym.
Life.
Gym is life. So cliched. That's it.
Who the fuck is Jim? Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
That's it. That's done.
Okay.
Done. You don't get to do them with me though.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so 5 random questions for you, Alex.
Oh yeah.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Why?
It tastes better. Pasta is a side dish.
I knew you would pick pizza. Pasta is a side dish. What's wrong with a side dish, hey?
No, pasta's fine.
Potato salad is the shit.
Yeah, well that wasn't an option.
I'm just saying, side dishes are still good. Beach or movies?
Oh, what's the weather like? Movies if it's raining.
Come on, just one. Okay, movies. Because I would have picked movies because I like the beach, he likes movies, but we always end up at the beach. Favorite chocolate? Yeah, your favorite chocolate. I'm asking you questions, you have to answer.
I don't know. All I can think is Kit Kat. What were you going to say?
I was going to say mint, but it's Kit Kat and mint.
Oh, those mint patty little circle things? Yeah, fuck. I don't
Don't break my heart. I knew this about you.
Fucking slap.
There we go. All right. Afraid of?
Spiders,
And?
snakes, nature.
I knew he would say spiders and snakes. It's funny because he gets me to catch the spiders in the household.
Yeah, I put them in jail though.
He puts that's as far as he goes.
On them, and Mariah will get up and I'm like, I put a spider in jail, go and deal with it.
I just let them out. I don't kill them. Favorite band or musician? I know this is going to be hard for you.
Oh, that's...
I'm really sorry.
Not okay.
He's got a very eclectic music taste, so.
Yeah, I can't.
Come on, just one.
My top 5 most listened to...
Okay, top 5 then, whatever.
This year, I think, was Parkway Drive. I think it was...
Yeah, I like that.
It changes between like classical and opera to metal to country. Well, it depends on my mood. I can't pick one. I was listening to Linkin Park last night.
We'll just say Parkway Drive and then depends on mood. Oh, she's
Yeah,
back again.
Parkway Country.
This is the life of having a puppy. She
Disney musicals. I listen so often. I'm at the gym listening to like the Frozen soundtrack, and no one knows, and they just see this big tattooed dude, and they're like, "He must be listening to metal," and I'm like, "Haha."
Okay, so just everything, but obviously Parkway Drive was
The
at the top.
Moana soundtrack.
The Moana. Yeah, you like musicals. Fun fact about Alex, he loves musicals and I do not. People honestly assume because Alex is covered in tattoos that he's this really macho guy, which he is.
I'm manly as fuck.
But he loves musicals. You'd be more likely to want to watch a bromance than or what are they called?
Like the Notebook.
Rom-coms, yeah.
Notebook is
And I'm more about I like sci-fis and thrillers, and I'm very strange, like fantasy type of movies and stuff.
Yeah, I like rom-coms and like horror movies.
Yeah. So we're a bit different in that. So I like horror movies too, but I don't like rom-coms, and I have a distaste for musicals, but I get forced to watch them. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's gone off on a tangent. But basically, Parkway Drive was the original.
I'd say Parkway. I think they were the second concert I ever went to.
Yeah.
So
cool. I love that. It's a great answer. So 5 questions to finish off. 5 questions that we will ask each other, and we're going to try to sink in and say who we think is the culprit in these questions. So more likely how well we know each other. So my 5 questions, ready? And after I ask it, just go. Ready?
Okay.
So who's a clean freak?
You.
Me. Yeah. Because I am.
Yeah.
I wipe a bench at least 50 times a day.
Even when it's not dirty.
Even when there's nothing to wipe.
She'll wipe it and 5 minutes later wipe it again.
I have serious cleaning issues. Who's more generous? Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a lot more generous than I am. I'm very much like save my pennies type of thing. Whereas Alex is just
I'll be out, I'll walk past something and I'm like, I would love that.
He just comes home with random surprises. I'm like, stop.
I can't leave a shop without getting her something.
Yeah, because people often ask that question, like, why does he buy so many things for me? And I used to think it was like, I don't know, I thought it was a problem. Like, I thought you had like a shopping
No, it's just so
addiction.
that you know that while I was out, I was thinking of you.
Yeah. So he does it less now though, because I've told him we've got to buy a house. So
flowers are expensive.
Yeah, they are. I bought you flowers one time, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who snores? Alex.
You fucking snore.
Alex.
You're just asleep.
I don't snore.
You were asleep
I
on my lap.
don't snore. I've never heard.
Yeah, literally the other night,
No,
you were
need
asleep
to
on my
record
lap, and you and Lolly were both snoring.
You need to record it.
All right.
We'll be back with this. Follow up will be whether Mariah actually snores, because Alex snores very loudly if he's on his back. I don't think I snore. I think I make like this. Ready, guys? This is the noise I make. Like, that's not snoring.
No.
It's just breathing.
That's also not it.
I don't actually. What's actually snoring is like, that's not true. That's a lie.
You do cute little snores.
That's not, he's lying. It was
He lying.
It was definitely Lolly. I mean, you know, Lolly has been getting the blame for a few things lately, so. Who cooks more?
Me.
Alex.
Who cooks? Yeah, right.
Who cooks more, Alex, but who probably
better?
has really good cooking skills and just doesn't use them?
Yeah.
Mariah.
I think I would cook us dinner 30 times to every one of yours.
Yeah, he cooks a lot.
If not more.
He cooks a lot. I used to be, like, in previous situations, I was always the person who cooked, and I'm not used to someone just taking the initiative and cooking for us/me, but Alex that's part of his love languages. He just gets it done. And then obviously we get to eat because I avoid my meals a bit. I'm a person who kind of puts them off. But when I do cook, I'll make really great dishes, like things like potato bake for special occasions. I'm big on special occasions.
Yeah, you're good at like catering.
Yeah. So like an actual specific, very lovely.
Yeah, for events like Christmases and New Year's and birthdays, I won't cook you.
No, and I'll come up with the meal ideas and things for those. Yeah. Who is more confident?
You.
Me. Yeah. So I put that. Alex didn't know I was going to ask that question, but yeah, I'm definitely more confident. But I think it's taken a long time for me to get to this point where I'm like very relaxed and confident in my own skin. I think Alex deserves to be more confident than he is, but I think you're a lot better than you used to be.
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
Depends on who you're around. Yeah. Okay, what are your questions? Because I don't have them here. So here we go. I'm going to get surprised now. It's my turn before the end of the podcast.
Who's more health conscious?
Me.
Yeah, you. I would say you as well. I said I've got who's the better cook, which is you, but who's more likely to start a fight?
Me. Oh, wait.
I would say you as well, but another one there was who was moodier, and I would say me.
Alex, yeah.
But you're more likely to like
I'm more likely to actually just
kick off.
I go in for the kill. I'm like, right.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Alex is certainly
I'm probably more likely to be grumpy. But you're more likely
he
to-
tries to pretend like he's not in a bad mood, but
What's wrong
he's
with
very
nothing?
much in a bad mood. Yeah. I very easily get out of moods as well. Like I'll be cranky and then just right, that's it. I'm good.
Who's a better singer?
Oh my god, this is a hard one. I hear you. I'm going to say Alex.
I was going to say you.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, because, I mean,
I sing more.
yeah, used to sing a lot. We both sang in choirs as a kid, and Alex is singing all the time in the car.
And at home.
At home.
It's like everywhere.
But yeah, we're both okay singers. We're not going to sing for you. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
My next question was, would you do a duet? No, I'm just kidding. Who's crazier?
Me. Really? Did you say me?
Huh? Yeah.
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 I'm really crazy.
I think we both
I'm
are,
a
but you're
lunatic.
slightly more.
Yeah.
Slightly.
I just went and got diagnosed properly. You know, with my mental health conditions. I think Alex is just still. The question is still out as to whether or not you're a psychopath.
Definitely not a psychopath.
No,
Very
he's not.
ADHD.
He's not. Yeah.
Who takes longer to get ready? Obviously.
Me.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad thing if your boyfriend or fiance or husband takes longer to get ready than you do. I think you've got a girl on your hands. I know that sounds really sexist, but I think it's already annoying enough how long it takes women to get ready. So I think if a man takes a long time to get ready, you got a problem. I'm gonna get heat for that, aren't I?
If your boyfriend takes longer to get ready than you,
Yeah.
you've got a girlfriend.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Your mum's your dad. Your mum, yeah.
I am not very skilled with makeup though, so that's an interesting thing is that I don't often stuff around with my makeup, but when I do take a long time. So I think that's about it for the podcast / vlog. If you would like us to do another vlog or podcast, both together again, please let us know. Please let us know if you think that was the worst podcast you've ever listened to, because
then I don't have to do it again.
because then he won't be roped into it again. But I do notice that we get a lot of interest in our relationship and certainly lots of interaction online whenever I post something of Alex and I. So, but we can include the puppy too if that's something that you guys really enjoyed. She's asleep again. So,
She's waking up.
thanks a lot, and make sure you like, subscribe and share, because it helps with us getting the word out there about what fitness and nutrition is about, and also, I suppose now, balanced relationships and the honesty behind the truth of what actually happens in our life, not necessarily all sunshine and rainbows all the time. Thanks, talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to...